So here's the Panzer M4, the Benelli clone, all taken apart. I haven't even fired it yet, but it comes just saturated with oil. I've already wiped a lot of it off. This looks pretty nice. I mean, I don't see anything that would hinder its trigger. This part is plastic, but I guess everything is nowadays. I mean, it seems to, it's pretty smooth. This one came off pretty easy, the extension. This, where it went into the receiver, was really a pain. There was a lot of Loctite on that, you can see it. I gouged it up a little bit with a pipe. Everything is all apart. It's just completely soaked with oil. Looks like they actually put Viton O-rings on it. Gas pistons. I'll clean them. Make sure everything's free and clear of burrs, and I don't see any dirt and debris in it anywhere. Everything was pretty clean. Even this was it's got some you can see where the Loctite was, but other than that, pretty clean. The machining inside this actually looks really nice. And the dog barks. It's like she knows I turned the camera on. I got a flashlight here. I'm kind of aiming around. I took all the screws out of the rail and the sight there and Loctited everything back together. Waiting on a magazine tube right now. I've heard they were machined really crudely, like the old 50s SKSs, because they come from Turkey, but that is not the truth. These are really well. Yeah, was planning on sanding polishing all the rails in there with the bolt slides, but everything looks immaculate. Even the bolt looks really super smooth. The bolt itself, yeah, everything's like, looks like they tumbled it and polished it well before they coated it. So there's no polishing needed. Everything is super smooth. These ends were smooth already, but I polished them a little 1500, but I didn't even need to. Tubes were soaked with oil inside there. I took them all apart, cleaned them all out, completely dry. They're not supposed to be oiled. If you oil them, it's a gas operated system. The gases obviously go into the tube, which obviously pushes the piston forward to eject the bolt. The gases are hot, obviously, and will gum up the piston inside there if you put oil or lubricant in there. And you get gunk, and then the pistons don't move freely. If you add a little resistance to that, any little small amount of resistance is less power pushing the bolt open, and if you have a cheap ammo, it might really give you problems. I always suspect if that's why people have cycling issues, but these are not made for low recoil and light trap loads. It says in the manual. Here's a manual. I know it says right on important considerations for selecting ammo and slug loads, but not low recoil light trap loads. So, tells you right there. Page 16 of the Benelli manual, the actual real Benelli, says not to lube the gas cylinder collector pistons right there. Says it again right there. Says it again right there. Same thing, and says it again right there. They're quite adamant. Do not put oil on the piston or in the cylinder for the gas system. It'll gum up and cause your cycling to slow down. And it says it again. Do not lubricate the inside of the cylinder. We scroll down. It's a foreign language. Scroll down again. It says it again. The inside of the cylinder do not require lubricating, and then again it repeats itself right there. So I think they're trying to make it a point. You'd think they'd tell you why and not to, but they don't. And I tell you again, next page. It's like 5 or 6 different times they say that. I was also going to take the whole trigger assembly apart and polish it, but it actually seems really everything's super smooth and it seems to operate really smoothly, so I'm not even going to take it apart. I just cleaned all the oil off of it and then re-oiled it. I literally was just at Brownells store yesterday inspecting their Benelli M4, and I don't know, the finish on this is smoother. So here it is after I made a few modifications, changed the tube. I think I got that from Dave's Metalwork, I believe. Got that choke on there too. It's an improved cylinder brake kind of. And flashlight and laser. And the reason I stuck that in there is because the rail was on there and I needed to add that bracket so I could put the sling on it. Spikes bracket so you can put the quick. But it worked flawless. I've got about 100 rounds through it, and as soon as I start videoing, he has to start drinking all the time, like clockwork. But these are the slowest ones at 1185 feet per second. These are the slow ones. Second test was the 1200 feet per second. Okay, 1200 feet per second. Ready? Third one was 1300 feet per second. And I also shot 10 each of these buckshot. I think that's 1330 feet per second, and shot 10 slugs to it at 1460. Everything was flawless. There wasn't a single hiccup or error with the gun at all. I don't know what people are saying or why people are complaining they don't work. I would think in the first 100 rounds would have been its critical spot where it probably would have failed if it hadn't failed, because they say there's just I think around a couple 100 rounds to it to break it in and it'll run fine, but it's run fine, perfectly fine. So